I was talking with Carol. Like, what do you say about somebody that is the foremost Wotan in the world? We all have followed Greer throughout the years that we've all been at Loyola. But let me just read you a very brief little section of a biography. That he's internationally recognized as an outstanding singing actor and one of the most prominent Wagnerian singers of our day. Continuing his reign as a leading interpreter of the god Wotan, he sang the eminent role once again this past spring in 2019 for the Metropolitan Opera's Der Ring des Nibelungen in the reprisal of Robert Lepage's landmark production of 2013.
Yeah.
His interpretation of Wotan has also brought him to multiple esteemed international opera houses. Some highlights of that include the portrayal in the entirety of The Rings with Deutsche Oper Berlin, Teatro Comunale di Bologna under Gatti's baton, Gran Teatro de Lisieux, was that Lisieux? Yes, in Barcelona. Cool. I didn't know that one, Greer. New National Theater Tokyo, and as well San Francisco Opera, Seattle Opera, in 3 complete cycles. Now, many of you know how long that cycle is. It takes days to do. He's done all of them, back to back. That's kind of amazing. It's stentorian. But I have to share maybe one of my absolute favorite comments about Greer. It is one of my favorite ones. It was in a press release where they happened to say that he was in Seattle in '05 performing Wotan. And he says, and what was then a promising Wotan has now become the genuine article in all of its splendor and glory. He acts about as well as a Wotan can act, but he sings, well, like a god. I thought it's one of my favorite quotes I've ever seen. And so without further ado, Greer Grimsley.
Well, hello. And Tyler, thank you very, very much for that very generous introduction. And I also want to thank everyone here because I think this masterclass was supposed to happen last week, but we had a force of nature interfere, and I know within that week that the run up to the election, no matter which side you're for, this has been a tumultuous year and a tumultuous election season. And we're probably all exhausted and all sort of spent, but in many ways, music heals, and music is our connection to humanity, no matter what side of politics we are on. Music has its own language. I just wanted to thank everyone for being here, and I also want to thank the New Orleans Opera Association for helping sponsor this. Under the first time I'm doing something with Claire Buravac, who is the new general director at the New Orleans Opera, and I've known Claire for a long time, and it's such a great joy to see her in the city. All right, so without further ado, we should probably get to it, right?
Samuel Ater. Who's Samuel, you're a freshman bass baritone, correct?
Yes, sir, I am.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts. Yet once a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth, the sea and the dry land, and I will shake, and I will shake all nations. I'll shake the heavens, the earth, the sea, the dry land, all nations I'll shake, and the desire of all nations shall suddenly come to his temple, and the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts.
Samuel, or would you prefer to be called Sam?
Sam works good.
All right, Sam. So, are you in school? What year in school are you?
I'm a sophomore.
Okay, great. So, tell me about your concept of support and how you find your way through the line as you sing.
Well, usually, since I know that like in my interpretation of this it came with a lot of like power and energy, because it's, you know, the prophets proclaiming that what the Lord says. I felt like I had to take a really deep breaths, and, you know, while I'm pushing and using a lot of power in my voice, still not throw it all out at once to try to like lose breath by the end of the phrase. So especially when it came to the runs, I kind of backed off, I guess, in a sense, so that I would be able to have that power through the line, but not run out of gas by the time I get to the end.
Listen, by the way, had you ever done any coloratura before this? Okay, excellent. And how did you achieve working through those lines?
I sat at a piano and played them slowly, and then I would sing through them slowly and just kind of work my way up in speed.
Yeah. All right. So, Sam, I have a few suggestions, and I just here. I always like to start a masterclass by reminding people about singing, and especially about oratorio and opera. Is that opera was created to give a rebirth of Greek opera, okay, to reconstruct it. And so the idea of Greek opera are the actors at the bottom of the theater, in the amphitheater. So in order for them to be understood, they had to speak very slowly. So what is singing? Singing is extended speech. So in classical style, even it persisted actually in French classical theater, but they were trying to recreate these Greek dramas. Now for this is something from the Bible as well. But for singing, you want to imagine that you are in the bottom of this Greek amphitheater, and you want those people to hear you. So we'll start this again, but before we do, I'm going to ask you to do a couple of things. All right. So I want you to recite the first part of the first two lines of your recit, but and I'll demonstrate. It's going to feel silly. It's going to feel crazy. But I want you to connect to how it feels to stay connected to those words. So, thus saith the Lord of hosts. Okay? So that way these people up at the top row are hearing that. So choose, it doesn't have to be the pitch you start on. Choose a comfortable pitch, and but extend those vowels, extend it to where it feels silly. I may ask you to do it a couple of times, all right? Okay. All right.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts.
Okay, even longer. I want to hear those vowels held even longer in between. Thus saith the Lord. Okay.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts.
Okay. All right. What you feel there is the connection, and keeping the vowels going as well as the consonants. So you're not dropping those consonants. You're not dropping your support to say the consonants. All right. So with that, let's start this again. All right. Carol, do you have a starting pitch?
Yeah.
Okay. Sam, if we can just, did you hear your pitch?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Now, with that in mind, with what you just did, let's incorporate that. You don't have to go out of time of the music, but keep with your tempo, but feel that connection between those vowels. All right.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts.
Yes. All right. Now, you're starting what feels like you're a sophomore and you call yourself a bass baritone, and until you're about 24 years old, 25 years old, you're not really going to know where you are. You'll probably stay a bass baritone. So I talk about things being the bottom of your voice feeds the top of your voice, and the top of your voice feeds the bottom of your voice. And I know that probably sounds crazy, but you need the sound of the octave, thus, in that octave, okay?
Okay.
And you sing, just for grins, sing that first line, thus saith the Lord, an octave lower for me, all right? And support it like I asked you to support, okay?
Thus saith the Lord.
All right.
Lord of hosts.
Good going. All right. So, Sam, if you would, please do that again. Just that first note, an octave down, and then I want you to sing where the octave higher where you started. But I don't want you to disconnect from how it feels in that lower octave. All right.
Okay. So the first note is the lower octave, and then
yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Thus saith the Lord.
Good. All right. Now let's do, I'm sorry, I wasn't very clear. Thus saith the Lord. All right.
Okay, I gotcha.
Thus saith the Lord.
Good. All right. So now let's go. Thus saith the Lord. All right. Keep that connection that I had you working on with the expanse, imagining that you're in that amphitheater. All right.
Okay.
Thus saith the Lord.
All right. So keep it the same. It's not, you know what? You're young, you're agile. And here's my talk about music and how we conceive it, is that on the written page, it looks to us like notes go up and notes go down. But how do our voices work? Our voices work in the horizontal plane, right? So if your voice is working in the horizontal plane and they're doing this, to get to the very top of your voice, they'll just a little bit, that larynx is going to tilt a little forward, right? To get that stretch, to get to the very top. But it's all here. It's all on this plane. So your vocal cords are working like this. So thus, very easily. Don't feel like you have to over energize the high note. Okay.
Gotcha.
So as relaxed as you can do it, listen, bravo to you, and a wonderful director. Always would thank every actor who would try something first that I was involved with. And thank you for going first, and thank you for being, the first one up. It's a scary place to be, but I don't bite, so let's have fun, okay? We're trying stuff, okay? All right. So what I'm going to say, with that in mind, you don't want to sing geographically. So you're thinking, oh my God, that's a D or a C or whatever, and you're going, oh gosh, and when I ask you, do not sing, please don't sing geographically, that means let's keep it in the horizontal plane as much as possible. That keeps us from stretching the music all happens here on this plane, okay? So let's just very easily, thus saith the Lord.
Thus saith the Lord.
Good.
The Lord of hosts. Keep going. Oh.
Yes.
Yet once a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth, the sea and the dry land, and I will shake, and
Good.
I will shake.
Good, Sam. All right. So, all right, great, Sam. So, what did you feel when you were staying connected to that lower part of your voice? As that you weren't thinking that you had to give all this energy.
Mm-hmm. It felt like the top note was much easier for me to visualize and get up to, because I know for me, like I'm more of the lower register than the upper register, and I know starting off on that note with like the power that I was intending for it to in my mind to start off with, it wasn't always like as a mature sound when I was just trying to like hit it right up front. So thinking about coming up from the bottom really helped.
Good. Well, also, I also wanted to compliment you for not trying to sound much older than you are. I know it's very tempting. I was a young bass baritone your age at one point, and I was encouraged not to add things onto it. And you have to, I believe truly that you have to let your voice mature and grow naturally. The onset of for that high note shouldn't feel that much more different than when I asked you to do it lower. Thus. And so it's just a question of Joan Sutherland used to say, and I think she would say, I inhale and then I hold my breath for a bit and then sing. But it's not about, she never really, if you watched her, it wasn't about that. It's that she inhaled the vowel and then she was ready to sing. The support was there before she sang. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, and how did it feel going through the runs like that?
It felt good. It felt that I sounded much better than I did on the recording.
Okay, so no one likes to hear themselves on the recording. All right, so let's do that again. And just for grins, just give me that first line spoken like we did before. Thus saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord. Okay?
Okay.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts.
Great. Now let's start that. Thus saith the Lord. Is that right, Carol? Yeah.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts. Yet once a little while, and I will shake the heavens and the earth, the sea and the dry land, and I will shake, and I will shake all nations. I'll shake the heavens, the earth.
Good, Sam. All right, I wanted you to sing through that a little bit about what we talked about. And I only have, I think, maybe 1 more minute. Is that right, Tyler?
Yep.
All right. So the heavens, the earth, the sea, the dry land. So feel that stretch from the dry land. Could we just have that pitch, the bottom pitch?
Of the dry land?
Yes. Yes. So that's not that high, Sam. So stay connected to that lower pitch, all right?
Oh, do you want me to go from?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
The dry land.
Yes. Yeah. Let's very quickly do the bits where we go the earth, the sea. Okay.
The heavens.
The heavens, the earth, the sea, the dry land, all nations I'll shake.
Yes. Excellent. Okay. Bravo. You and I want to tell you that keep plugging away. It sounds great. And at such a tender age, and you probably get so tired of hearing this. There's a lot that you can do right now, but for lower male voices, it's just a waiting game, right? You know, and there is a lot of sort of things that you can do to on your way to becoming a full-fledged singer and working bass baritone. So, you know, wonderful working with you. Thank you very much. Bravo.
Thank you so much.
Great. Next, Garrin is a junior baritone, and he's doing Waldisgespräch from the Robert Schumann's Liederkreis Opus 39.
Es ist schon spät, es ist schon kalt, was reist du einsam durch den Wald? Der Wald ist lang, du bist allein, du schöne Braut dich für dich heim. Groß ist der Männer Trug und List, vor Schmerz mein Herz gebrochen ist, wo ihr das Waldton hier und hin, o flieh, du weißt nicht, wer ich bin. So reich es mögt, dies Ross und Weib, so wunderschön, der junge Leib. Jetzt kenn ich dich, Gott steh mir bei, du bist die Hexe Lorelei. Du kennst mich wohl, vor Hornstein schaut still mein Schloss tief in der Rhein. Es ist schon spät, es ist schon kalt. Kommt's nimmermehr aus diesem Wald, nimmermehr aus diesem Wald.
All right. Okay.
Wonderful, Garrin. You don't hear this sung very much. Can you tell me what drew you to this particular song?
I definitely liked the storyline. I looked up just kind of like the history behind it and the the folk tale of Lorelei the witch and the Rhine, and I just like the play between the two characters and being able to like switch between the two of them. It was fun.
Yeah. I think, and also knowing that Schumann, for all the beautiful music that he wrote, he was sort of this tortured individual. You know, by what they write about him, he was probably bipolar, I think. You know, and but they described it the best they could. And this particular, you know, it suits his sort of view of the world in a weird kind of way. Let's start. I'm just going to say, I loved your commitment to the text and to making it a piece of drama as well as a piece of music, and you can still do that with art songs, you know. So what I would love to do is, did you see what I did with Sam? Is that we talked about, and also there are a couple of high notes, and I'm just going to remind you, don't think of high notes as high notes. Your voice works here, right here in the horizontal plane. So we'll go through some of this, for everyone here, please know that I'm just as frustrated as you, not being in person and working with everyone. But I think we're doing an excellent job at this. And so Garrin, I want you to speak that first line, Es ist schön spät, and say it as if you are in an amphitheater, all right? And the person up there has to understand those words, but so you have to sing it, you have to say it in a way that they will understand it. Es ist schon spät. Okay, so you're supporting every vowel and especially the consonants as well. And I think let's do that first. Okay.
Es ist schon spät.
Yeah, now do the next line.
Es ist schon kalt.
Okay, but slower. I just want you to get the feeling of that stretch. Good.
Okay. Es ist schon kalt.
Bravo. Okay. Carol, could you give Garrin the first pitches there, and then I'm just going to ask him, and then if you can remember them, we'll come back. You'll say that first line as we just did, and then I'll ask you to go back and then sing it. All right.
You want me to speak it first?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Es ist schon spät.
Good. All right. Now sing it.
Es ist schon spät.
Keep going.
Es ist schon kalt.
Okay. Keep going.
Keep going.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Was reitst du einsam durch den Wald? Der Wald ist lang, du bist allein. Du schöne Braut, die für dich heim.
All right. So, so Garrin, let's go back to let's just start it again. Okay.
Okay.
Es ist schon spät. Es ist schon kalt. All right. So you don't have to work so hard getting through it. I know that there's a devil of a word in the second line, reitst du, which is not easy for German speakers. Let's go back and start it again, and stay connected to that feeling. And remember, when you go to that high note, you don't go back. You have everything that you need as you're singing. Okay, you don't have to give any extra for the high note. So let's Es ist schon spät.
Es ist schon spät. Es ist schon kalt. Was
Good.
breit.
Garrett. So let's, in that tempo, just like you felt that slower, es ist schon, feel that connection between those vowels. Es ist schon spät. Es ist schon kalt. That it's all that you're supporting as if you're going to sing a whole note, but you're singing the words while you're supporting for the whole note.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All
Let me
right.
try that.
Es ist schon spät. Es ist schon kalt. Was reitst du einsam durch den Wald? Der Wald ist lang, du bist allein. Du schöne Braut, die für dich heim.
Okay, good. Let's go back. Du schön. That can be easier for you. You have that note. That's an easy note for you. Du schön. So du, and you have that lower note. So stay connected to that. Did you see what I was talking when I was talking to Sam about that? The top of the voice feeds the bottom of the voice, and the bottom of the voice feeds the top.
Yes, sir.
Stay connected to that lower pitch. I'm not asking you to carry the weight of that up to it, but stay more connected to the color, if that makes sense.
Okay.
All right.
Du schöne Braut, die für dich heim.
Good, better, bit. So du schön. So just don't even change the vowel. Just do that for me. Right. So there's not that much distance between du schön. It's very close, okay? The only thing that you're doing is just supporting and giving a little more energy to that upper pitch, okay? So let's go back and try that. Say that for me in a much closer way. Du schön.
Du schön.
There you go. Okay.
Very close.
Du schöne Braut, die für dich heim.
Good. All right. So you want to be prepared to sing the sh of the du sh. So you want to, as we were talking about, as you were speaking the lines, you also want to keep that support. It's not like du schön. It's du schön. All right. So it stays connected from that du schön, and then it keeps going. All right. Yes. So let's do that line one more time, and then we'll move on. It was better the last time.
Du schöne Braut, die für dich heim.
Good. Keep going.
Groß ist der Männer Trug und List, vor Schmerz mein Herz gebrochen ist. Wo lir das Waldton hier und hin, o flieh, du weißt nicht, wer ich bin.
Good. All right. So say the first line of the poetry for me on that second bit.
Groß ist der Männer Trug und List.
List.
Oh, sorry. List.
Vor Schmerz mein Herz gebrochen ist.
All right. Now let's stretch it out as we did, all right?
Okay.
Groß ist der Männer Trug und List.
Okay. good. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
We don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I wanted to work with, I had the option of working with either 4 people and having one alternate, or working with 5 people. And I wanted to work with all 5 of you guys, okay? So, what are you singing in those first lines there?
Great is the deceit of man. She's basically describing just that she's had her heart broken before and that she's not one to mess with. Leave her alone.
All right, so choose a color there, okay, for that, as well as what I was talking about, staying supported. And when you're supporting those vowels like that, you can, because you have such a wonderful dramatic flair and sensitivity for the words. So let's develop that as well, okay? Groß, and remember, groß ist der. You don't have to go so far for those vowels, okay? They're all so much closer than you think they are, okay? And especially when you're supporting that.
Groß ist der Mann, der trug und List, vor Schmerz mein Herz gebrochen ist, wohl ihr das Waldton hier und hin, o flieh, du weißt nicht, wer ich bin.
Okay, what did you find there? Yes, yeah.
I found that it felt more connected. I don't know. I like the color of it.
Yeah, so did I. So, okay, so you can connect those two. They're not two separate things, and which you understand as well. And so you can that's also that's in your toolbox now. Okay. So I would say you can even, let's see. I'm not sure if I'm getting a sign that I'm almost out of time here.
We're okay, Greer. You still got about 3 minutes.
Awesome, great. So, Garrin, let's talk about the next stanza.
So reich geschmückt?
Yes. So how are you interpreting this next stanza after that second one?
So it's the hunter again, and he's being persistent. He's like he's just basically like, check me out, like look at what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the red and white. I'm a hunter. And then he goes to say like how wonderful her body is. Like, come on, baby. And then he realizes, oh wait, this is the witch Lorelei. God help me.
Yeah.
And then she comes back in.
Yeah, and she's a very prominent figure in a lot of these tales. So, all right. So give me a different color as the hunter. All right, and just remember keeping those. Just say that first line like I asked you to say, like you're in an amphitheater, and then we'll start again. Okay. All right.
So reich geschmückt ist Ross und Weib.
Okay.
Now
I'll sing it.
Sing? Okay.
Yeah.
So reich geschmückt ist Ross und Weib.
Okay. Now the reason I stopped you is that you have this opportunity here to paint. All right. So reich. Okay, so use the R on that. It's a great descriptive word. Okay, so rich. Okay, so that will also keep that on your support. That doesn't come off your support. So reich geschmückt. Okay.
So reich geschmückt ist Ross und Weib. So wunderlich wunderschön, so wunderschön, der junge Leib.
Okay, great. Now let's go a little further with the character here.
Okay.
All right. So give me a much more delineated character. It's just give me between the second stanza and this. So reich. So find those. Give me different words that you are emphasizing, as if Garrin were talking to someone that you were,
Okay.
talking about. Hey, you're looking good. All right.
Okay.
So reich geschmückt ist Ross und Weib, so wunderschön, der junge Leib.
Good. All right. I would suggest maybe starting off with a smile. It looked like you were angry at her at first.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Let's do that. Let's try that. Okay.
Okay.
It's like, hey, like Joey on Friends. How you doing? All right.
Sounds good.
So reich geschmückt ist Ross und Weib, so wunderschön, der junge Leib.
Good. All right, now do the next line.
Jetzt kenn ich dich, Gott steh mir bei, du bist die Hexe Lorelei.
Good. So that gives that difference. So when that will tell them. When you're singing this for an audience, that's the wonderful part about doing an art song, is that you're the production. You're painting the set with your emotions and telling, and with the words, you're telling folks what's happening. So when you start off with it being so reich geschmückt, it makes jetzt kennt ich. Okay. So Tyler, do we have any time?
We're at it, Greer. Sorry about that.
All right. I just want to make that transition and then we'll move on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Garrin, do you want to, is it possible to start on so wunderschön?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then I'm going to ask you, yes. So remember that you're sort of putting the moves on her, and then you go, oh, wait a minute, I recognize you. So it doesn't have to be so abrupt, but you can, as I was talking about vowels being closer, your reactions can be a little more economical, especially in art song. So in leader. So see how economically you can go from "I'm hitting on you, baby" to "Whoa,
Okay.
wait a minute, who are
That makes
you?"
sense.
Okay, I know you.
Okay.
So wunderschön, der junge Leib. Jetzt kenn ich dich, Gott steh mir bei, du bist die Hexe Lorelei.
Good, bravo.
Maybe
Excellent.
a little bit more, but
Yeah. Well, here's the beauty is that now you can, I encourage everyone, young singers, old singers, to really sort of experiment and play with your voice, find more colors, find what your voice can do, find what you can do as an actor and how economically you can. The whole point of studying bel canto is getting the most amount of beautiful sound for the least amount of effort. That doesn't mean being lazy. It just means streamlining everything, like an Olympic swimmer or or a runner. Everything is studied down to just the infinitesimal movement. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bravo.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Great job, Darren.
Yes. Let's go to Veronica.
Erzeugt von heißer Fantasie in einer schwärmerischen Stunde zur Welt gebrachte. Geht zugrunde, ihr Kinder der Melancholie. Ihr danket Flammen euer Sein, ihr gebet runden Flammen wieder unter die schwärmerischen Lieder. Denn ach, es sang nicht mir allein, ihr brennet nun und bald, ihr Leben ist keine Spur von euch mehr hier. Doch ach, der Mann, der euch geschrieben, brennt lang noch, vielleicht in mir, brennt lang noch, vielleicht in mir.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So I always ask this: what drew you to this particular song?
Well, if I am being 100% honest, this is my piece for German diction class. So it wasn't exactly my choice, but I really enjoy it. And I feel like it's making me like unlock part of my like professional person in a way that I haven't like tried before.
Okay. All right. I was just curious because, if you want to tell the folks what it's about, it's something that's very personal that probably everyone here has gone through.
Yeah, so the title is it translated to as Louisa burns her unfaithful lover's letters. And so throughout the piece, I like to describe it as going through the stages of grief. I'm angry at him, I'm sad, I'm just filled with so many emotions over a relationship that I had to end because of how my partner treated the relationship. And it's I'm grieving, and I'm also just expressing exactly how I feel.
Yeah, and actually going as far as burning the letters, in sort of a ritual. And so it's interesting because you have the classical constraints of Mozart, but within that, if you think about, we classify musical epics, Baroque, and then classical, romantic, but in truth, every era, I'll probably get some blowback from musicologists, but every era of music is romantic music. It's just they had different rules about how they said things, okay? So you support your voice really well, but just for grins, I'm just gonna have everybody do this. Would you mind saying that first line, or the first two lines, as if you're standing in an amphitheater and you're stretching. Erzeugt von heißer Hand. Okay.
erzeugt von heißer Fantasie in einer schwärmerischen Stunde.
Good, good. All right. So that helps. I always ask people to do that. Listen, I think it's a great tool for everyone to use. I still do it with text, and it's a great way to get your voice and your body and your mind connected into one sort of area. And so when you're stretching those vowels like that, you're also supporting the consonants. So in that first line, erzeugt, I would love to hear that final T as you start, okay? But you don't have to stop your support as you go. Erzeugt von heiß. Did you hear how it just keeps going? Carol, would you mind playing her first pitch? I'm just going to ask you to say that first line just up to Fantasia, and then go back and sing it, okay? And I know it's different tempi, but I want you to feel the support and the vowels going through those lines, and just drop those consonants in. The support stays constant, okay?
Erzeugt von heißer Fantasie.
All right. And if we can have a pitch. All right. I'm so sorry, Veronica. Would you mind stepping back? The mic whited out. I couldn't hear if you sang the T.
All right.
Which is a good thing, but you're gonna have to step back. All right. Good. All right. So you can keep the support for the vowel going even through the T. So erzeugt von, okay? Good. Keep going. Wonderful. Now I'm going to ask you to come closer. It's okay. Let's do some stuff with also. So with some dramatic intent as well. All right. So it's not. So let's tell the story, and it's going to be have you broken up with someone, or has someone broken up with you? Okay.
Yeah.
You don't listen, as an actor, you don't always have to touch those personal experiences. But I mean, that's to start this with that word, erzeugt von heiße Fantasie. Okay. So that is, paint those words for me. You don't have to paint every word, but erzeugt von heißer Fantasie, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Where, let's see. Ah, there you are. You keep moving. I'm going to try to, hold on. I'm going to pull you up here. Pin your, there we go. All right.
Erzeugt von heißer Fantasie in einer stürmerischen Stunde zur Welt.
Good. All right. Let's get that first line, okay? Because you can you see me without your glasses?
Probably not.
Okay.
Try.
All right. Because sometimes, and this is why as soon as in rehearsals when I'm working with my glasses, I always feel like I find my character even deeper when I take my glasses off. And if for some reason this feels like a wall and people can't see this, look how expressive your eyes are, all right? So we're not seeing that. So you don't need to see me. I'm not going to do anything, but I'm going to suggest some things for you, okay? Erzeugt von heiß. Give me a real stress on heiße Fantasie. All right. So you are burning with anger much before you even say ihr brennt nun. Okay. So take a moment, try to remember what this felt like. Okay.
Erzeugt von heißer Fantasie in einer stürmerischen Stunde zur Welt gebracht.
Good. How did that feel?
Felt good. I felt like I was releasing more energy. And
Yeah. All right. So within this classical style, you have to stay true to the classical style, but you can put emphasis on words that will tell the story. Okay. So all right. So what kind of fantasy was it that you had with this person? It was a hot one. All right. So this ardent, this flaming, this burning. Okay. So erzeugt von heißer Fantasie. All right. In einer zu Welt. All right. Now let's go to the second stanza. Ihr danket Flammen euer Sein. So tell me about this stanza, okay? Are you building to the last stanza, or are you?
I think this is probably like a gentle anger in this stanza that is building up to the third stanza being the full anger, but also the full disappointment.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is just like building. It's like the stepping stones towards the real action. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go with that. Let's go through the second stanza, and I'll raise my hand to stop, and then we can work on some stuff. Okay.
Okay.
Ihr danket Flammen euer Sein, ich geb euch nun den Flammen wieder unter die schwärmerischen Lieder, denn auch sang nicht mir allein.
Good.
Ihr brennet nun und bald.
Now I'm sorry.
Okay, I can't see.
That's okay. That's okay. Thanks for being game, for taking off your glasses. We can see so much more of your face that way, and actually what you're expressing. So don't be afraid. Don't be so. I'm going to encourage you to explore this even more. Okay. And how do you do this? As a kid, I would, and I know a lot of us, you don't have to admit to it, y'all, but we would stand in front of the mirror and act and see what our face would do. And just, when you're alone, you can do that and you explore. This is about finding what your body does, what you as an artist can do, okay? So it doesn't have to be so contained. It has to be true to the classical style, but it doesn't have to be as if you're afraid to move. So, it's let's see, what's the text? You owe the flames your existence. Okay. These letters are what's giving the flames life, basically. Okay. So I restore you now to the fire with all your rapturous songs. for doch innen here in German. Den Ach. It's what does that mean? It's a word that doesn't mean anything but means everything. Ach. So it's full of emotion. It's den ach. There's this pain that happens. Okay. Den ach. Okay. So there are so many things that you can explore with this. You have, the reason I'm saying this is that when I saw the video, I just thought, oh wow, there are all these things that you do in here that I'm going to challenge you to do more of. Okay. All right. So let's start that stanza again. Okay. And you don't already be singing before you start to sing. Does that make sense? Does your teacher tell you that?
Yeah, she
Okay.
tells me to be in the moment before it even happens, I think.
Yes. All right.
Ihr danket Namen euer sein, ich geb euch nun den Namen wieder, und da die schwärmerischen Lieder, denn auch sang nicht mir allein, ihr brennet nun und bald, ihr Leben ist keiner Spur von euch mehr hier. Doch ach, der Mann, der euch geschrieben, brennt lange noch, vielleicht in mir, brennt lange noch, vielleicht in mir.
Yes. Yeah. How did that feel?
That felt good. I felt connected to the piece more, and I felt like I was, like thinking about what I was about to sing before I sang it, which I need to do more of.
Right. And what I noticed is that you were in the character when I asked you to go back and do this the last time, right there. Okay, so there are no lag moments. As performers, there are no lag moments for us, and I understand that you're in the process of learning these things, and that's why I'm tossing it out to you. And also, I would suggest you did it. I'm going to say brava for making the doch ach, the second one, different, and it meant something different, and I noticed that. Very good. But you're very quick. And also, when you start the third stanza, you're brennent. You don't be afraid to invest in that brennent. Paint that I burn you now. Okay. That's a real dramatic thing to say. Yeah, brennent. Okay. Do we have just enough time to sing that line, Tyler?
Yeah, Greer, we have enough time to do just that line.
Okay. All right. Carol, would you mind giving Veronica the pitch?
Where do you want to go exactly, Greer?
The third stanza, ihr brennend nun. Und bald ihr Leben. Give me more R. You can be closer for this, okay? More R. Ihr brennend. You're rolling that R to let the E of brennend escape. The only way that E can escape is going brennend, okay?
Ihr brennet nun und bald.
Sorry. Okay. I can't sing.
Good. And ihr Lieben.
Should I do it all again or?
Yes, do it one more time.
Ihr brennet nun und bald, ihr Leben ist keine Spur von euch mehr hier. Doch ach, der Mann, der euch geschrieben, brennt lange noch, vielleicht in mir, brennt lange noch, vielleicht in mir.
Good. Thank you for being such a great sport and being willing to explore some things, Veronica. Wonderful. The one thing I will I wasn't sure if I wasn't hearing it right because of the ist keine Spur. Okay, I wasn't sure what I was hearing there in that line, but well done, wonderful. Okay, now, and I would encourage you, just keep exploring this is a wonderful piece for you. I really think it fits you very well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. Our next singer is Nora Cullinan.
Allons, il faut pour lui-même, mon pauvre chevalier. Oh oui, c'est lui que j'aime, et pourtant je sais qu'aujourd'hui, non, non.
Wonderful, wonderful. So Nora, tell me about this aria. What are you? What's happening here?
So in the opera, Manon has basically eloped with this guy that she just met, and then this other like rich guy comes along and tells her that if she stays with him, it's just going to be a life of misery and poverty. But if she comes with him, he will like let her live like a queen because of her beauty. And so this is her like saying farewell to the guy that she actually loves so that she can go be rich, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I'm something I will ask you, and I'm going to challenge you, is in the recit part of that, allons, I felt that you understood what the scene was about and what was about to happen as she's saying. I mean, she's singing about this small table, but really, what is she saying? She's thinking about the person that she's going to be leaving, right?
Yeah.
And how many times that they've sat at this table. So in the recit, I'm going to challenge you, even though that sometimes it does sort of seem frenetic or full of emotion. What I thought was wonderful was how you settled into when the aria happened, that it was everything was connected. And so when you were singing, I'm going to pull up the music here so I can get specific. In the recit, when you started, it seemed very, very rushed. And what I'm going to suggest for you is that don't get ahead of your support when you're doing something really sort of full of emotion, and you want to express, anger or frustration or whatever. But your support and your singing always have to graph like this. It's always like this, okay? So if you get ahead with the emotion, il faut, allons, and your support's not with you, then you want to feel the calm that you had in the aria as you sang that aria. Granted, it's a lot slower, but you still want to feel that even in the fast parts. I took a long time to say that. So I would suggest is, as I'm having everyone do, please, you saw what I was doing with everyone about saying the first lines as if you're in an amphitheater.
Yeah.
All right. So what that does too is like it slows things down, even for fast stuff. So you're feeling that connection between the vowels. If you wouldn't mind just saying the first, I'll stop you, but saying the first couple of lines like that. Allons, il faut, okay? Stretch out as if you're saying it to the last seat up in this big amphitheater, all right?
Allons, il faut pour lui-même, mon pauvre chevalier.
Even stretch it even longer, okay?
You want to keep going or start over?
Start over.
Allons, il faut pour lui-même.
Good. All right. You don't have to do close to approximate the pitches. Just do it you can do it even on a monotone. Allons, il faut. I want you to feel the connection in between those. Okay.
Okay. Allons, il faut pour lui-même, mon pauvre chevalier.
Good. All right. So with that in mind, let's work through some of the recit here. Okay. This is crazy and the stopping and starting, but it's been great so far. I've been able to make my points, and Carol has been great. Thank you, Carol. If you wouldn't mind giving her that G.
I got it.
And so with that in mind, how you felt as you were singing that, you can still do the tempo, but all of those vowels have to be connected. it's as if I think I told several people ahead, is you're supporting to sing a whole note, but you're singing the words that you have to sing. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Alors, il faut pour lui-même, oh pauvre chevalier. Oh oui, c'est lui que j'aime.
Good, good. Thank you. All right. So, I would say, I know it says fortissimo. So, and I would say don't try to sing fortissimo, because he writes this as, I mean, it's not very high for you as it gets to chevalier, but just the mere fact that it's rising like that, you are, if you stay connected and stay connected to the dramatic import, it will happen. Okay, so I love quoting this famous Zen proverb: the more you try to do something, the further away you get from it. So don't try to sing forte. This is your character, allons, okay? Let's see, where's the G?
Alors, il faut pour lui-même, oh pauvre chevalier. Oh oui, c'est lui que j'aime. Et pourtant, j'hésite aujourd'hui.
Good. That's a lot better. That's a lot better than on the. How does that feel?
It feels good, yeah.
All right. So it's very important that you always keep that calm feeling, no matter whatever you're singing, that sense of really sort of being calm. It's as if you're sort of bending time. On the inside up here, you are at a much slower tempo than everything else is happening. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of.
I think you felt that with this when I was telling you in the first part. You can sing fast, but you keep that support all the way through. Let's see. Let's move. I wanted to move to J'entends, which is yes, on the F.
Okay.
All right. Now, before you start this, just know you're singing before you start to sing. All right. Your support starts before you sing.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, all right. This G is no problem for you. All right. Did you hear me talk about that how our voices work is not how this is written? When people see how this is written, our voices don't work like this. They don't go up and down. So I'm going to challenge you to erase the idea of high notes going up. Okay. High notes stay in the horizontal plane. Keep the high notes here. All right. It takes the same amount of support. Actually, you'll find when you start thinking of your high notes this way, it won't require as much energy. Okay. Or the impulse to give too much energy to the high notes. Okay. And I know that was kind of a crazy place to start. Let's start let's go just, let's see. Non, non, je ne suis.
Okay.
Je ne suis plus digne de lui. J'entends cette voix qui m'entraîne contre ma volonté. Oh non, tu seras reine.
Good. All right, let's get this. That was good. And the manon was it didn't take so much energy, right?
Yeah, it felt.
I want to make sure that you take. Are you breathing before the manon, or are you holding your breath before the manon?
I don't know, honestly.
It's important to know those things. All right, so let's start right before it, as if you're going to take that breath on that quarter rest. Okay. So just take a good supported breath. Manon. You have to always make sure you get your breath. Okay. Okay, it's manon. Think of it as manon. Feel as if you're sort of humming that and it's so it right now from what I'm hearing it goes a little back. Manon. You want to keep it coming forward, okay? This is you want to release. It's about releasing your sound to what I call your catcher's mitt. You're releasing it here, okay? Manon, just sing, Echo, yes. All right. Now let's just put a couple of consonants with it, and actually they're voiced consonants. So it's manon. Thank you very much, Massenet. All right, keep going. Okay, good. All right. So that can be a lot easier for you. You have those notes. You have a lot more above that note. I can tell. All right. You do. Okay. So parlabote. Let's just don't put the weight on it. Okay. Remember what I talked about? Don't try to sing forte. Don't try. Okay. Just the simple fact that you just sort of take it a little bit out of tempo. Parlabote. And you're releasing the sound, not holding anything here. Say those words as if you're in the amphitheater for me.
Parlabote.
Good. Stretch it out even more. Feel that support to make those vowels.
Parlabote.
All right. Now let's, Carol, if you wouldn't mind giving us a C. Good. All right. So I have the, stay connected to where the par starts before you go to the G. Don't go. I have the feeling like you're making an adjustment that you don't have to make. It's really parlabote. You're spending a little more energy than you need to.
Okay. Right.
Good. Now let's see. We don't need to finish the rest of it. I'm so sorry for those who are waiting for that resolution. But let's start the aria, which was wonderful. And with this suspension, this aria, let's just start it, and then I'll stop and start along the way.
Okay. Can I get that chord? Adieu, notre petite table qui nous réunit si souvent
Good, good. All right. So let's go back to where you start this. Adieu, notre petite Ater. Keep. I know there's a separation, and for that eighth note, or eighth rest, that you breathe, but you breathe in the time that you are singing. Okay, so you don't have to. So adieu, notre. Okay, and I want you to feel like you're stretching those vowels. You're getting the most amount of stretch on those vowels for the most of the quarter note or the eighth note that you're singing. Does that make sense? Sing those vowels as long as you can before going to the next thing. Okay. All right, and stay connected to it, just like what we did on adieu, notre. Okay, it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, it works.
Do you want me to sing it?
Yeah, just you can sing it.
Okay.
Adieu, notre petite table qui nous réunit si souvent.
Good, wonderful. All right, so Nora, that was fabulous the way you started that. Okay, so when the eighth notes happen, they stay very calm. You don't have to rush that. Let's just use it's adieu, notre petite table breath. So there doesn't feel, you don't wait till the last minute. You keep that. The breath is also part of your singing. It's also timing that breath, and you'll learn that the longer that you sing. This is wonderful. I love this in your voice. Let's start that over again, and keep those vowels coming. Even for the eighth notes, stretch those vowels as long as you can. Okay.
Adieu, notre petite table qui nous réunit si souvent. Adieu, adieu, notre petite table si grande pour nous, cependant.
Good. All right. So did you feel like you in the tempo, you breathe in your tempo, okay? Let's see, where did you stop?
Right at on tient.
Okay. I'm on my iPad, and unfortunately I went, yes, on tient. Let's do the line before the adieu, mezzo forte, adieu, and then the adieu on the A flat right before notre petite table.
Okay.
So here's the first one on the C.
Right. Yes. Now, Nora, when you do this, you don't have to telegraph that you're going up the scale. It all stays, remember, on the horizontal plane. You just think that pitch going up. It keeps it, the energy just stays, okay?
Okay.
Adieu, notre petite table si grande pour nous, cependant. Oh tiens, c'est inimaginable, si peu de place.
Good. Si peu de pla. You can use the L. Pla. There's almost a small Pierre Vallet gave me this tip, is that all those consonants combined with the L's give you, especially in French, pla, pla. You can, so you have to support the PL before you sing that vowel, and it's not that high. Don't feel like, stay brave, okay? All right, you're doing great, beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, let's start on the G. Si peu de, okay? Okay, and then, okay, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to catch you before you go up. All right, you're not going up. It's all horizontal, right? And just how you sang the place, with no extra energy. You have the support as you're going up. You just keep that support constant. Okay, so sorry to stop. Carol, can you give her the G for the...
Just where the second verse starts? Or...
let's just do adieu notre petite table as we move to that next bit.
Okay. Adieu notre petite table.
Okay, so you're giving us a tell. You have a tell that as you're going up, okay, this is where I have to do something, okay? And that's, and même vers, you don't have to change gears here, okay? So I'm going to challenge you not to, I know that it has a crescendo. Don't try to make a crescendo. Let the crescendo happen because the line is moving up. Just support your voice, okay?
Okay.
Good, wonderful. I'm just going to make sure that am I running out of time, Tyler?
We are at time. Tyler had a power surge, and he'll be right back. But he told me to let you know.
Okay, Nora, this is wonderful. And are you where are you in your college career?
I'm a sophomore.
Wonderful. And your French is very good. Yes. This is a wonderful aria for you. And I would challenge you as you go, as your idea about going to your upper voice, that you don't have to let us know that you're going there. Okay? It's all about, it's just keep it easy. It's always the easiest way to sing things. Okay? Even in the most frenetic phrases. Bravo. Wonderful. Beautiful.
Next up, we have Alysa Foster.
I will be singing Caro nome che il mio cor from Rigoletto by Verdi.
Bravo. Alysa,
Yes.
where are you in your college career?
I am in my second year of grad school.
Oh, wow. Okay. Excellent. Why did you, now you've sung Karanome for a while, right?
Yes, it was actually the first piece I did for my first semester here.
Awesome. Okay. These things are little things, but Gualtier, you need to be singing before you even start to say that, okay? But wonderful, beautiful voice, really. So I'm going to ask you to sing, or since everyone has done this as well, we may as well keep the streak going. I want you to choose a comfortable pitch and just say, say the first few lines of the recit, and as if you're in the bottom of amphitheater. Gualtier. It's going to feel stupid, I know. Okay, but just commit to it. I'm going to and say, just keep that vowel going between each consonant. Okay.
Gualtier malde nome del scolpisci nel cuore.
So I will I'm going to ask you to stretch it even more. Stretch those vowels even more.
Guatiemade, nome de lui sia amato.
Good.
Okay.
All right, and and now let's just sing that first line of the recit, and I'm gonna challenge you to just be singing. I know it says that it's the 16th note for the Gualtiere, but I'm going to challenge you to sing that vowel as long as possible, as in that 16th note. Okay. And what do you? And here's another question: what are you thinking as the character? Here.
I'm thinking I've just fallen for this student and just how in love I feel right now at the moment. And it's a different feeling than before.
Yeah. She's very young, so it's possibly the first time she's felt these things, right? So
yes.
So with that, it's Gualtiere. So keep the sense of this is what's so hard about opera, is that many times that, especially for for sopranos, you have to be playing characters that are much younger than who you are, teenage girls, and it's remembering the firsts of everything, and especially with this character. So you're remembering, so whatever that was, the most pleasant memory you have of your first falling in love with someone or huge crush. Okay, so with those two things, Carol, if you could give us that E for yeah. All right, and take a moment and find that for us. Good. All right. So show me more on your face what that is.
Okay.
All right. I know you're thinking, okay, I got to make this sound. Alysa, I'm going to challenge you to even go even further.
Okay.
Really sweet. I mean, this is 15-year-old girl falling in love first time.
Right.
Good. And that's always worth exploring. You know, how far you can go with or how subtle you can be, but still show all of those emotions. I want to go let's start the aria, and then we'll work through the aria. There are different spots, and it's just some picky stuff, but nothing. And I'm going to challenge you to do certain things, and it's wonderful. It fits your voice wonderfully well. So let's start from the beginning of the aria. Okay, wonderful. So now I'm going to challenge you to what we were talking about before in the recit, really stretching those vowels in between, all right? And I'm going to challenge you to find a way not to put so much weight on with each syllable. Carano me que mio cor, so that it's not bump, 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 bump. Everyone has the same emphasis. So, and find those words. Which word would you emphasize? You know, not with a sledgehammer, but just give a little a little more emphasis to. Cara no me que mio cor, you know, or mio cor. It's, you know, that's your choice. But so that it's not all the same, you know, as if you're talking to somebody, or you're actually. This is interesting because it is an aria is a private moment most of the time in a person's emotional development. So this is it's you're in your own time. This is a parenthesis in the dramatic development of the story. So stretch those vowels, okay? And I challenge you to find not to make them all the same emphasis, okay? Carol, if you wouldn't mind playing the E. Good, wonderful, Alysa. Thank you. Now, I would also challenge you, and it's not that high for you. The G sharp that you sing, going up from the E to the G sharp, is that you don't have to add any extra energy to that. Just I would challenge you to sing it even a little softer than what you're doing. Okay. Let's see, where's a good place to start for that? Festi primo palpitale. Okay. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. All right. So, does it cost you anything to keep those vowels stretched and connected in between? It's beautiful, and you don't always have to. You know, when you go, I'm going to once again say, we don't sing how music is written. So when you're visualizing a G, you know, or a C, or a high B flat, it's crazy to think that it's this way. I think it's much easier, I think, to think it's just like when you're messing with a balloon, you know, and you're making those annoying sounds at letting the air out of a balloon. It stays in this plane. It stays in the horizontal plane. And so always think of those high notes. It takes less energy if you think of it that way. And keeping it in that horizontal plane. And as you know, is that your larynx tilts just a little forward for the very, very top. But you're still connected in the horizontal plane. So always think of, and that's why I wanted to move on. Let's move on to a little further in the aria. Ha 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 ha. Good, wonderful. A couple of things I would suggest is ha 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 is not to feel like you're starting and stopping, but staying. I challenge you to find a way that you can, if we can just start there, ha 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 ha, is that you stay connected to your support and don't come off of it for each one. Okay, you can give a little bump. You can give a little sort of bump of your support. Does that make sense? Okay. Wonderful. Bravo. How did that feel?
It feels great. It feels good.
All right.
Yeah, I feel like I'm not losing energy as I'm trying to sing that.
You know, and that's why I'm telling you is that that's the whole point of studying bel canto, as I said earlier, is that you're always looking for the easiest way to do something and not off of your support or your voice. And you're getting the most amount of beautiful singing for the least amount of work. And that's how you make it through these pieces, so that you're not we are, in essence, we get to know our bodies as well as athletes do. And so it is the same as trying to make sure that you streamline your freestyle stroke if you're a swimmer. You know, you're getting it down to just a millisecond of when that hand comes into the water. And that's what we all, I mean, that's how you you figure it out. And you can do that on your own too, which I challenge you to do. And this is beautiful. This is wonderful. I think I might be out of time. Am I out of time?
Yes.
Doggone it. Okay. I just want to say thank you so much. Bravo to everyone who sang. And the time just flew by. I'm so sorry that I went over. I see you, Drew. I miss you. Where was I? Saw Ellen too. Listen, I keep doing these wonderful things and play. Just find out who you are as artist and keep going. All right.
Thank you so much, Greer.
All right. All right.
Thank you, Greer.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can have another session.
Thank you, beautiful singers. Thank you, Carol. And thank you, New Orleans Opera.
Thank you, Claire.
Yes.
Thank you, Claire.
Carol, thank you so much.
Thanks, Greer.
Night, everyone.
Good night,
Ellen.
Night.